So we're here doing some guerrilla journalism with Mr. Gale from Hellcats. How are you?
I'm well, how are you?
Is it nice to be in LA?
There's a tarantula on your shoulder. Just kidding.
It's a beautiful day.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about your Hellcats character.
My Hellcats character is a law professor named Julian Parrish, and he's a bit of a snotty, overbearing, self-obsessed. No, he's not. He's a very good teacher. He's a very good person. But he's trying to figure out if he can take Marty's character seriously, because she's studying for a law degree on a scholarship as a cheerleader, and that just doesn't seem right somehow to me. I think she might be up to something.
I hear that she gets into a bit of a jam and he's going to help her out.
Oh, I help a lot of people out.
Yeah?
Yeah.
A little pro bono work on the side?
Yeah, unfortunately, because the only reason I'm teaching at that school is I can't afford to pay my own rent, so that's how that goes.
How much are we going to hear about his life outside of work?
Hopefully a lot.
Yeah?
All of his clown work and some of his experience as a painter, a house... No, that was another show. Just things that he does outside, McDonald's.
Yeah,
you know,
the usual.
Golfing.
What was it about the role that appealed to you?
It was a challenge for me because most of the scenes that I've shot, there are some very complicated series of ideas, because he's teaching, but he's very loose with his information, and trying to figure out how to play that naturally, but getting the ideas across and being compelling at the same time, because, you know, this dynamic you have sometimes with your teachers, they can be very inspiring, but you would like to give them a kick in the pants if you could, so it's trying to put that across at the same time, that the students are interested and inspired by what I'm saying, and it's clear that I really believe in the ideas that I'm talking about, but being able to nudge them a bit without taking it too far.
What does he think about the cheerleading? He's not a fan?
I think he just doesn't care, you know. I mean, it's cheerleading, and he knows what it is, and he knows why it's there, and he might like to sit down and watch some of it for a while, but his main concern is the legal system, and as a teacher, his main responsibility is educating his students and making sure that they understand the ideas that he's putting across, because he really does believe. He's not just there for the paycheck. He has bigger ideas, he has bigger cases that he wants to take on, and he's in that middle ground now trying to get up. You know?
So what's his relationship like with Marty? Is he just trying to challenge her and take her out of her comfort zone a little?
Well, I think in addition to how he tries to challenge all of his students, he knows it's challenging. He doesn't have to think about it too much, because he's been through the same thing himself. He knows how hard it was for him to get his degree and how much he loves it and how much he believes in it. But I think that a bit of the arm's length distance is, he doesn't really take her seriously, because he can't imagine that someone who's training as a cheerleader or going to practice or learning routines and all this would have the time or the focus or the discipline to be a good attorney.
I don't really know
how. Be a good student, you know? So that's sort of their conflict, which is nice. How's
he different from all the characters that we've seen you play on TV in the past?
He could actually be held accountable for some of his not so straightforward moves, but he's different. I mean, he's more responsible. I mean, the law is his life.
Right.
You know, it's not cars or discos or other things that you get with those items. So yeah, I mean, he realizes the responsibility he has in the classroom. You know,
right.
He's got to make sure that these students get the point and take it on and understand it, which is not something you can totally throw away. You have to throw it away a bit and see who's got the motivation and the intention to pick it up and come with. But these are serious ideas, you know, for him.
Yeah, it's important to him.
Yeah.
How do you like working in Vancouver? I know you were in Toronto for a long time.
Yeah, I love it. I never made it to British Columbia ever. The entire time I was in Canada, I never got over there. And it's just ridiculously beautiful.
I love it.
And I lived in San Francisco for a long time, so it's kind of like San Francisco times 10. You know, it's like the big bad brother of San Francisco with all the hills and the mountains and the weather and water and the birds, you know?
The show takes place in Nashville, and I know you're from Georgia. Does it feel like home?
Nashville? Nashville, British Columbia? Yeah, kind of, a little bit. And the hot dogs aren't as good, but...
Do you get to use your real accent a little bit? Is that your real accent? Do you have an accent?
You think I have an accent? I don't. That's how I talk. How you talk?
I talk like that.
How you doing? I did a little bit. There's a little bit of dialect in there. I felt it was really big. I felt that I was kind of too much. But then I saw a little bit of it when I was helping out the ADR for the editing. It wasn't nearly as
big.
You know, regionalisms are regionalisms. In the South, they're like, it's not as much as it used to be, but you go from county to county and everybody talks different. They have a Southern accent, but it's different pace, different emphasis. Some people just can't talk.
Real slow.
Yeah, they will, you know what I mean?
Yeah.